Good morning. You're watching Morning in the Mountains. I'm Brad Lovett as we take a look at the roadways on your travels. And there can be some construction anywhere on I-75 heading in south from Kentucky, also up from Chattanooga. And of course, if you do travel through Chattanooga, you already know it's busy there, especially during the morning and afternoon rush hours there. And we have some closures in the Smoky Mountains and Great Smoky Mountains National Park, and that includes Clingman's Dome Road, and that closes November 30th. Also, Balsam Mountain Road closed October 28th. We've got Round Bottom Straight Fork, that closed also October 28th, and the Roaring Fork Motor Nature Trail, that closes for the season on November 25th. That's a look at traffic. Now let's see what Kira and Savannah are up to.
Good morning, it's Kira with Morning in the Mountains, and I am here with Mark with Sky High Air Tours. Now Mark, what in the world makes an airplane fly?
Well, the shape of the wing is probably one of the most important things.
Okay.
If you could look at the wing like from the end, you would see that it's got a little bit of a curve on the bottom. Most of these are flat that you'll see out here now, and then it's curved over the top. And what happens is the engine is pulling the airplane forward, you've got air passing over the wing.
Okay.
And because the top is curved, it takes longer for the air to go over the top than the bottom, and it creates a low pressure on the top of the wing, and it's actually pulling from the top. It's lifting, as well as the air on the bottom of the wing, but it's basically that shape of the wing is the most important thing. And then of course the engine, the engine is an important factor as well, is that you've got to have a powerful enough engine and an efficient propeller to pull the airplane forward to get that speed that you need. And then the other important controls, out on the wings, there are what are called ailerons, and you can see they're kind of a little segment out there towards the end, and those move up and down. And what those do, and actually the word aileron is French for little wing.
Little wing.
So an aileron, when it goes down, it lifts one side and lowers the other one, and that's how you bank into a turn.
Okay, yeah, I could feel us turning a little bit whenever we were up there just a moment ago.
Yeah, I try to not go too crazy on the turns.
Oh, I loved them.
Then of course you've got an elevator and a rudder too that that you use basically all three controls at once.
An elevator.
Elevator is the in the very back, that makes the plane, that actually pulls the nose up and drops it down.
Okay. Now where's the engine? Is it up?
The engine's in the front.
Okay.
This is called a radial engine, by the way. A lot of people call them rotaries, but the proper terminology for it is a radial engine because all the cylinders radiate out from the center. And they're arranged like that for cooling. By putting the cylinders out like that, it cools very efficiently. Although they don't use radials anymore because it's a lot of drag. It slows the plane down quite a bit.
Oh. So how fast does your plane go?
We cruise at about 95 miles an hour. A biplane will never be a very fast airplane because the wires, the two wings, the landing gear, and the radial engine is just too much drag.
Okay.
So.
Well, thank you, Mark. I feel like I'm an expert on planes now.
Well, always good to learn something new.
Right. Well, thanks so much. Here at Sky High Air Tours, you can book your flight with them coming this April. Now back to you guys.
We are sure happy it is Thursday on the Mountain Fun Life channel. You're watching Morning in the Mountains. Hi, Frank Murphy here with Rich Haley filling in for Robert Omby this week. The coffee sipping Jim Johnson to my side.
I love good coffee in the morning.
Well, also you're showing off that you've got the Mountain Fun Life sticker on your mug. It looks really good.
It's a unique one of a kind.
Yes.
Soon to be four of a kind.
Now I have a question.
Could be.
We got this from some actual company. Why didn't you put the sticker over their logo?
Because I still want to be reminded of how awesome this company was that gave us these coffee cups.
Okay. Well, that's a fine answer then. I accept it.
You know.
All right. And Brad Lovett is here. I was curious. I've been dying to know. All morning I'm looking at that mug going,
They were nice enough to let us have these coffee mugs, and we talk about them here and
there you go.
show you that there. I want to be reminded.
That's
all.
right, so
That's
that's
why.
good news. That's very nice. Very promotionally minded of you.
I try to be.
And Brad Lovett has some Thursday information for us.
We have some nature news, and if you remember the severe weather we had on Halloween, you got spooky in more ways than one around here. And sadly, that led to the demise of some fish, especially on the Clinch River. And Matt Cameron, who was just here, tells us from TWRA that there are a lot of fish in the Clinch River who did not survive that, and about 120 brown and rainbow trout downstream at Clear Creek as well. Unfortunately, did not survive, and that's going to possibly mean you'll have to reroute some of your fishing this fall.
Oh, yeah. Well, the weather has been weird, you know, with it's been hotter longer than usual, and then it got cold fast with those after those Halloween rains, and the fish reacted, I think, to that temperature change. If I
They were like, what's going on?
If I read Matt's statement correctly, if I understood
Fish.
what, right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
They were unable to breathe, and the weather change and the severe weather that caused all that.
There wasn't enough oxygen in the water because of the whatever happened.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So you will need to possibly reroute that fishing trip in that area.
Yeah, and if you have any extra oxygen, go ahead and dump it in the water for the fish. They could use the help.
Now, some of the fishing guides say that you will need to re-navigate your future fishing trips, but that section of the Clinch River near the Ware Dam is usually a prime spot to fish this time of year.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, that's the great thing about TWRA is they want to help you. You need a fishing permit anyway. So when you get it, ask about all that stuff. Ask what's the latest. Yeah, that's a good plan.
Now, just in case you want to buy a mall, I know of one for sale in Knoxville. Now, you might have heard about the Knoxville Center Mall closing. Now, somebody put an ad in Craigslist advertising it for sale in exchange for a lawnmower.
So that was a joke.
I saw that.
That was a joke, yes, just so you know.
I have a lawnmower.
Now, Frank, I don't know a lot about your radio history before LA, but I don't know if you ever worked at any of these smaller stations like I did, where you might do something called swap shop, or somebody would make an offer like that. As I've got a goat for sale in exchange for used tires.
Swap and shop. I worked at some very small radio stations that are now defunct, but I used to listen as a kid. I would listen to Swap and Shop on WLNG, Long Island, New York, and it was on Saturday mornings, and they'd go on there, and you'd have people calling in trying to sell their junk.
It's always fun. I've always enjoyed those shows.
Yeah.
Especially even today, if you travel through littler towns
I don't
across
think you have
the
to
country.
go that far. I think maybe like Clinton, Tennessee.
Yes,
still have a swap and shop.
one.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Now, where I started at WCSM in Salina, Ohio. Hi, Kevin Sandler, if you're watching today. He's the news director now, and they still have the same show I hosted.
You hosted Swap and Shop.
Yes, I hosted, called Service and Music.
Because I thought, I mean, that seems to me to be a difficult show to host, because if you don't get any calls, then what do you do?
Well, you get calls. There's like literally no way you don't get calls.
Are you serious?
We had an hour in the morning and a half hour in the evening.
How does the station make money off a Swap and Shop? Do they take a commission on the sales?
Just sponsorships, just the regular commercials.
All right.
They don't do it's not an auction kind of thing.
So it's just a guaranteed way for the sponsor to know that people are listening because there's so many calls coming in. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Now, you had the same callers. I think last time I was up there, they still had that show, and probably some of the same callers. I don't know.
Do you think when we do Ask Frank Live here on Mountain Fun Live, do you think we could do a little Swap and Shop?
That'd be
Sure,
fun.
why not?
I could try. I've never hosted a Swap and Shop show. I mean, I'm interested in trying it.
I'd say go for it.
Is there any liability on the behalf of the radio station, like if the lawnmower doesn't work or if the mall is defunct?
The mall is definitely defunct.
The mall is defunct.
I don't think
for a
so.
while.
I mean, those shows have been running this for years, and they still are in rural areas.
And everyone understands that it's just the Craigslist of radio.
Right.
You assume the risk when you go and meet this stranger who's trying to sell you weapons or blades or lawnmowers or whatever over the radio. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And Craigslist is the swap shop of the internet. So
That's all it is. I get you. All right, I understand now. All right. Well, then we'll think about it. I'll give it some thought. Because I'm not crazy about the idea now that I talk it out. But the mall would be good if you're making a movie about the zombie apocalypse. That would be a good...
Well, they use some mall somewhere for Stranger Things. You know, and they toasted that thing.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately,
This could be another Stranger Things thing.
there's a lot of those dead malls out there. I mean, they used to
Yeah.
be a thing in the 80s, and now they're not. And this one, they also call it Easttown Mall. The locals, the old timers, call it Easttown Mall, but they changed the name of it to Knoxville Center Mall, which probably was a mistake because it's not near the center of Knoxville.
No, it is not.
No. And it is really, really strange to go in there. It's very eerie.
When's the official closing date?
Sometime
January
in January.
31st.
Yeah, they're not going to make it.
There's only like 2 businesses left there, I think.
They're going to call it closer. The Regal Cinemas pulled out the day they announced the mall was going to close. Regal's like, oh,
forget
yeah,
that.
we forgot to tell you. We're done.
Well, the food court has like one Japanese restaurant left. Everybody else, even the Chick-fil-A left.
Right.
And
So,
when
but-
Chick-fil-A abandons ship, you're done.
and when you can fill up on the
That's a bad thing if your Chick-fil-A leaves. You are definitely done.
and with the Japanese restaurant, you can fill up on the samples with the toothpick chicken.
Yeah, except for the person out holding the samples.
There's nobody coming by.
Nobody comes by, so you just got a tray of
Yeah.
orange chicken or something.
Okay. Well, I guess that's that.
Well, let's talk about chickens.
Terrible.
Right. So if you don't want to buy a mall, but you do want to buy something at deep savings, you can go to our Mountain Fun Life Best Deals. It's just a phone call away at 865-978-1152. We've got great tickets to great attractions for great businesses in and around the Smoky Mountains that aren't going out of business because they're popular. So you want to go see them and experience them, whether it's zip lining or whether it's a comedy show. We'd love for you to join us at these things. 865-978-1152. We'll be back with more of Morning in the Mountains, some interviews, some sports, and more news coming right up on the Mountain Fun Life channel.
The best way to see the Smokies, Rocky Top, Scenic and Leisure Tours. Our beautiful tours of the Great Smoky Mountains will take you where you want to go. Imagine experiencing the beauty of the Great Smoky Mountains through the windows of our mini coach. Every member of the family can devote themselves to the passing landscape. We take you to the best places. So if you're looking for the best way to enjoy the Smoky Mountains, let us take you on a Rocky Top bus tour. Rocky Top Bus Tour, the best way to see the Smokies.
You're watching Morning in the Mountains on the Mountain Fun Life channel. Hi, I'm Frank Murphy. So delighted to welcome my friend, mentor, and I guess co-worker, because
true.
we work for Bone Zone, selling tickets to and doing lectures at events. Dr. Bill Bass,
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
the world-renowned forensic anthropologist, founder of The Body Farm. I heard that you had done in your career, was it hundreds and hundreds, 700 cases, something like
A
that?
little over 700.
And each of those cases means that the police ask you, who is this person and how long have they been dead?
That's correct.
And of those, I think most of them, you were able to say, well, this is who it is, and this is how they died, or how long they've been dead, and then it's up to the police to solve their case. So you solve your part of the case, and then it's up to the cops to solve their part of the case.
That's right. It's more of a teamwork situation.
But there's still a couple that linger. I mean, you've retired from the University of Tennessee back in 1990 something.
95.
95, but there's still a few of those skeletons that are back there at the UT that you thought, I know several things, but
That's right. We know the age, the sex, and the race, and the stature. Can't give them a name.
wow. You even told me, I think, that you knew whether they were left-handed or right-handed.
That's right.
How do you know if I'm let's suppose I'm a skeleton, and how would you know if I'm left-handed or right-handed?
You would look at the bones of the arm,
Okay.
and when you let's say you're right-handed.
I am. All right.
Okay, then the muscle attachments on the right side are more prominent than they are on the left.
Oh, all right.
And so, I mean, you're using that right hand, and the muscles have to attach to some
So
foundation.
even though the muscles have long been eaten by maggots,
That's right.
the
bone
remembers.
still contains that ridge
Okay.
where the bone attached,
Yeah.
and
Right.
so you're looking at the right and left.
Because your area of expertise as the bone doctor, as the author of the osteology handbook, really is skeletal remains.
That's right.
But, you know, we know when you came to Tennessee, they started sending you rotting bodies.
That's right.
But We're talking about a specific event that we'd love for you to see. I'll be there, and Dr. Bass will be there, along with our friend Art Bohannon. I've got the picture on the screen behind us of an event on Monday, November 18th at Jefferson County High School, which is just not far from here at all, exit 417 off the interstate. When you and Art Bohannon get together to work on a case, what would be the type of case we're talking about?
Normally, the case would have been discovered by the police first.
Okay, and Art was a Knoxville
And
police officer.
Art was the fingerprint expert
Yeah.
for the Knoxville Police Department.
Who became famous worldwide.
That's right.
Wow.
He did a couple of things. He's the first one to have discovered that children's fingerprints are water-based, whereas adult fingerprints are oil-based.
So we all remember seeing on TV for years that they would dust for fingerprints, and that would reveal the adult's oil-based fingerprints on whatever. But Art was looking for a missing child who he knew had been in the back of some car and probably had touched a window, but he couldn't find a trace
couldn't find
of the fingerprints because they were water-based.
That's right.
Okay.
He worked with Oak Ridge for years, and they began to figure out, hey, that when you reach puberty, there are not only the sexual changes that occur in the body, but there are also more basic changes in that.
Like the fingerprints.
The fingerprints.
All right.
The fingerprints, instead of being a water-based, become an oil-based.
So we've all seen CSI and all these other TV shows where they make it like it's no big deal to use the fuming method instead of the dusting method.
Well, he designed the fuming method.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's right.
Every TV show you've ever seen where they're using super glue fumes to find fingerprints, that is thanks to Art Bohannon, who's pictured on the screen behind us here, from the Knoxville Police Department.
That's correct. He discovered that if you heat up super glue
Yeah.
and it vaporizes,
Wow.
and you blow that vapor over a body,
Yeah.
it will pick up the oil-based prints.
Or the water-based prints.
Well,
Yeah, or everything.
everything. Yeah.
Oh, both. Oh, my
Yeah.
goodness. Wow. All right. So the comedy team of Bass and Bohannon.
I wish, but
No, I mean the forensic team of Bass and Bohannon are appearing together, and this is special because Art also was deeply involved in the recovery of remains at 9/11
World Trade Center.
World Trade Center, and he, like many of those investigators, has developed illness from
That's right.
sifting through all that garbage and asbestos and everything up there. Yeah. So he is going to be appearing with us on November 18th at Jefferson County High School. When we're together with Art, what are we talking about on Monday night, the 18th?
An excellent talk.
Oh, of course. No doubt. But, I mean, I've got to introduce you both. What am I going to say? What do I introduce?
Well, it was always fun working with him.
Yeah.
I would get a call from the police saying that they'd found a body and they needed my expertise. And if Art were there, I knew it was going to be a good case.
All right. Well, and specifically, without getting into graphic detail, because we're a family show, I know about the famous murders on Cahaba Lane with Zooman Husky, and he would, unfortunately take these poor women, prostitute women, and kill them. But there was one where you find the body, and she's in a state of decay where you can't recognize her face, but she still had one of her hands or both of her hands intact.
Both of our hands.
So this is amazing. So you've got to do all of the investigation, take the pictures, search everywhere for all the stuff. But meanwhile, Art is there. What did you do?
Well, Art in the Knoxville Police Department was the major fingerprint person.
Yeah.
And he had fingerprinted most, if not all, of the prostitutes in Knoxville.
As well as the bank robbers and
right.
the hoodlums and everybody.
right.
So anyone who'd been arrested, Art had probably run their prints.
That's true.
The regular old way. Okay.
But we know that he had done most, if not all, of the prostitutes over the years of Knoxville. So here was the best place to look for prints of this individual. And
Oh, because you probably didn't have the fancy computers that they have on the TV shows at this point.
That's right.
All right. So you've got a dead body, and Art's got the records back at the headquarters.
Headquarters.
So you got to get the prints to headquarters.
And so
I know how the story ends. I'm sorry to get ahead.
he said, "How about giving me a hand?" And I said, "I will do that in two ways. I will help you, and I will also remove the hand of this woman.
God bless her, yeah.
So that you can take that with you." And
so he takes the hand back to Knoxville, and you continue working the scene.
that's right.
And
It takes me normally about 3 to 4 hours to do a crime scene, to get the photographs, take
Right.
the measurements, get all the information that you need. And that was a 4-hour one.
yeah,
And literally, when we left to take that body to the body farm at UT, when we were leaving the crime scene, Art calls on the phone and has identified the woman.
wow.
I mean, it's
So that's how good you are, that's how good he is, and you'll get to see both of these geniuses.
and I'm since working with Art, I'm plugging working as a team.
Yeah,
If you watch some of the CSIs and things like that, you have one person that wears a white coat and they know everything. They don't have to ask anybody anything. That's not the way it works.
no,
No, you work as a team.
yeah,
I know my osteology and my bones. He knows fingerprints.
yep.
And we get together and
Oh, that's-
we have solved a few. We've solved a number of cases.
Well, and we'll be talking about those on Monday the 18th at Jefferson County High School. It's a beautiful, brand new performing arts center, or relatively new. It's state of the art. It's going to be a wonderful, comfortable auditorium with great sound, great lights, and we would love for you to join us. There's some few student tickets left for $10, but beware, some of these pictures are, I mean, they're crime scenes. They're
crime
bloody,
scenes,
they're
that's
gory. They're women who, obviously were murdered, and the killer didn't dress them. So let's just be frank about that. It's not for kids. It's a mature audience's performance or lecture, and you'll hear about all of that stuff. You can buy tickets at bonezonesdandridge.eventbrite.com, which is what I've got on here. Or if you just remember to search Eventbrite or search Google even for the Dr. Bass and Bill Bohannon lecture on November 18th, this pops right up. And I'm looking forward to being there with you that night.
Well, thank you. I'm looking forward to that too.
All right.
It's always fun being with you and
Oh yeah,
Art. Yeah.
It'll be an entertaining and educational evening on Monday, November 18th, and you can also find out more at bonezones.com, which is, I guess we both work for Susan, right? She's in charge of bonezones.com.
I reckon you could say that.
Yeah. Well, she'll say it.
we carry all the heavy load anyway.
All right.
Books. Okay.
Jefferson Bass books, all the stuff. I mean, we could talk for another half hour, but we got to wrap here. So I'll see you again soon, right?
Thank you. Yes, sir.
All right. You're watching Morning in the Mountains on the Mountain Fun Life channel. I'm Frank Murphy with the one and only Dr. Bill Bass. We've got more coming right up after this.
And here's a quick look at the weather forecast. I'm Brad Lovett on Morning in the Mountains, and there could be a snow flurry or two. Now, we have folks who really like snow and look forward to seeing snow, especially who live here, and then some who just plain don't like it. We never get snow like they do in the north, so if you're looking for snow on a specific day or planning your vacation around snow, you have to be prepared to be disappointed because temperatures can be anywhere from the 30s to the 70s, even this time of year. So right now, though, we're going to be in the 40s as far as the weather forecast goes. Partly cloudy skies, maybe a chance of a shower or a snow flurry. That's a look at the forecast. I'm Brad Lovett, and more of Morning in the Mountains just ahead.
Have you ever wanted to stream your own show or events? Well, now it's possible. We have an industry-leading technology production van, as well as 3 in-house customizable production studios. Our production van can professionally stream live from whatever location we bring it to. We can cover events like parades, grand openings, concerts, and so much more. Contact our marketing today for a free initial consultation. Email marketing@mountainfunlife.com.
You're watching Morning in the Mountains on the Mountain Fun Life channel. Hi, Frank Murphy here. Rich Haley is filling in for Robert Owenby this week, so thank you for that.
Absolutely.
Jim Johnson and Brad Lovett are here, and we are getting so close to Friday. We've got a little bit of Friday Eve happening here as we anticipate the weekend. I know you are too, so if you're getting ready to pack the clothes and head over here for a nice 3-day weekend, stand by. We got stuff you want to know coming up on the show today.
Yeah.
And that we do. Now, we talked about fishing in our last segment and some of the fish that were lost after the severe weather. And some of those are rainbow trout and brown trout. That seemed to affect mostly the Clinch River, but there's plenty of fishing everywhere else.
Yeah, that was about water temperature and oxygenation levels. So, when you're up fishing in a mountain stream, those things are, by definition, going to have more oxygen in them than the water sitting by the dam.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we had a fish kill, unfortunately, in that area. But there are lots of great places to fish in the Smoky Mountains, and it's a good time of year.
Yeah, I have a friend who does a fly fishing, I guess, tours or whatever. You hire him, and he takes you fly fishing. So I said, hey, you should come on for an interview in the fall, remember? He's like, you're out of your mind. Yeah, Rob Flightmaster Fly Fishing. I'm like, wait, come on, I'll interview. He's like, you're out of your mind. I can't come during September, October, November. That's just, he's booked solid.
Yeah.
So I guess I gotta, but why do I want to interview him when nobody's going fishing?
You got that golden sweet spot.
I know, that's
the only place you're going to get them.
And that's it.
Yeah.
On location.
So maybe we'll have to do that. Go out there, you could do that. Go out and take the camera out there and hook up with them. That'd be all right. His wife's very sweet. She used to run the be the publicist for the Medic Regional Blood Center. That's how I met the Fightmaster family. So
we've seen many of those videos when you're sitting there going,
oh yeah,
let me give some blood.
I'll do it again. I think I'm eligible. I can go again.
6 weeks?
Something like that.
Is it 6 weeks?
8 weeks? It's number of days and whatever it is. I don't remember. It's like 60 something days. So is that right? I don't know. I forget now.
I don't know either.
I am out of my mind. I forgot. So we'll move on.
I don't know.
But
I don't know.
Go ahead.
But watch for a bloodmobile in Sevier County. They do have them very frequently.
Yeah.
And we'll try to get them back on. We had them on this summer.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of giving blood. I've been doing it since I was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
They have that blood drive. When is the blood drive they do?
Oh, there's always a blood drive.
Well, they got the Vols blood drive.
Oh, that was the one versus Kentucky.
Yes, Kentucky game.
Yeah.
So that's happening, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's the blue versus orange. But it seemed like there was another one earlier in the football season where it was Vols versus somebody else.
Florida.
Yes, thank you. Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right.
That's why they
Try
have
to
to
get
wait.
Gator blood,
Yeah.
So they have that time between them.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
recover.
Thank you for reminding me. Because I checked that off as done because of the Florida blood drive. So thank you for reminding me.
I know it's coming up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Right around the corner, folks.
Right around the corner. I'm going to declare this Bear Thursday. We used to have Bear Monday. We'll call
Okay.
it Bear Thursday
I
just
like it.
because
I
we
like
want to
it.
remind you of a bear event happening this weekend. It's the Don't Feed the Bears Festival.
Amen. Don't feed them. Let them find their own food.
Yes. And not in your garbage can either.
Right. They got to go. How else are
your
they going to
car.
learn? They got to go find their acorns and just go eat those and hibernate.
And have fun. They can go to Acorn Bell, not Taco Bell.
Where is the Don't Feed the Bears festival?
That is going to be at the Enchanted Valley Barn. That's near Pittman Center. It starts at noon on Saturday, goes through 9 o'clock. It's brought to you by Gallenberg Brewing Company and Appalachian Bear Rescue.
So if you don't have Garth Brooks tickets, you may as well go to this.
You might as well go to this.
Yes,
If you
all
love Bears, Bears, beer, food, and music. I wrote that really weirdly. You won't want to miss the event at Enchanted Valley Barn. Alex Stokes will be the host. He's the author and comedian, author of the Messing with Tourists books.
And that's so no bears at the event.
No bears
That's
at
the
the
point.
event.
Not.
The point
Yeah,
is
that's
it's
the
a
point.
bear-free zone. People here, bears over there.
Be like my
As long-
dogs in the morning. They look at you. See bears around the event just going.
Did any of you have trouble with your dogs because of daylight saving last week? Because my
The dogs
cats-
don't care. They just know what time they want to eat. They don't care what time
Yes.
the clock says.
Exactly. So they're an hour early going, excuse me. Excuse me. Hey.
You got a cat? You got cats? I can imagine cats would be like tapping you on your head. Wake up.
Remember, a certain family member had a cat. Literally 10 o'clock. If the cat was down in the basement, 10 o'clock on the dot, like clockwork, be scratching to eat.
Really?
I mean, not 9:55, not 10:05, 10 o'clock.
Well, that's a
That's
smart cat.
something.
And I guess it reset with the time changes, but I don't remember that.
Maybe they had a chiming clock. The cat associated the
funny.
bells.
It was a really disagreeable cat, too.
Oh,
It would only let very few family members even get
I have a
close to it.
question. I don't have a good track record with cats. Are there any agreeable cats?
Not too
Not
many.
that I've run across.
We had a couple of office cats at a place I used to work.
Oh.
Well, we had one, and then we tried to introduce a second one. That did not go very well.
I'm going to withhold comment on cats. I'll tell you off the air what I think of cats.
we
not gonna
tried
upset-
to give
not
them the
gonna
whole
upset
weekend
anybody.
to get acquainted. It did not go very well.
Yeah, they're
Cat fight?
cats are very temperamental. You know.
Sure.
Mine
We had that on video.
Mine would have good days and bad days. Mm-hmm. Mostly bad days, but she did have good days. It was. Can I pet you today? We named her Cat too. You know, because
Cat 1 had died?
Cat seemed to work with.
Oh.
It's the only thing you could say her name and she wouldn't even look at you unless you say Cat, and then she'd be like, "What?"
Oh, well, all right.
So it worked, you know, Cat.
I like it. I
I
accept
just
it.
call pets a dog or cat. I don't, names.
Yeah.
They don't know what their names are.
DOG. That's always a good name for a dog.
Oh.
DOG.
Yeah.
Dowel usually is what I do. We've got some great tickets for you.
We do. We do. I think one of the shows in the Smokies has dogs or cats in it. Like there's a wrangling, I think, is it a Comedy Barn?
Yes.
That
Yes.
has a cat wrangler. In fact, we're supposed to have him on for an interview at some point. I just remembered that. So let's get that guy in. But you can get tickets to great things in and around the Smoky Mountains at a discount from us by calling our Mountain Fun Life Best Deals, our concierge service that picks and chooses great things for you. You tell us what you like, and we put together a package or individual deals. It doesn't really matter. You get to choose. You're in charge of that. And you don't have to sit through any kind of timeshare presentation or anything. You just pick up the tickets, hit the road and go see the shows, or go ride the rides, or go do what you're going to do. 865-978-1152. We will be back with more of Morning in the Mountains coming right up on the Mountain Fun Live channel. I'm Frank Murphy, joined by Brad Lovett, Jim Johnson, and Rich Haley filling in for Robert Owenby. Stick around for more. This is Morning in the Mountains on the Mountain Fun Life channel. Hi, Frank Murphy here with sports guy Rich Haley.
That's me.
What do you got for us this Thursday?
I've got some basketball for you.
Okay.
So Lady Vols, Thursday, this
Yeah.
evening, they're
Yeah.
going to be taking on Tennessee State.
Is that like a mutiny when Tennessee plays Tennessee State? Isn't that kind of like, shouldn't they be on the same team, the same side?
It's like a fight between sisters.
I'll accept that.
So,
All right.
Tennessee State, Tennessee Tech, Middle Tennessee State, Tennessee.
Because they really, I mean, it seems to me that when Tennessee plays, whether it's one of the other UT campuses or one of these other Tennessee schools, you really want to just put MTSU or Tennessee State or whomever in their place.
That's right.
Okay.
The big sister always wants to lord it over the little sisters.
And it doesn't always work out that way.
It doesn't always, but with the Lady Vols, it usually does.
Of course it does.
So, Tennessee State, Lady Tigers, they won their
Wait, I
exhibition
thought Memphis
game.
was the Tigers.
Yes, there's a lot of Tigers out there.
All right.
The LSU are Tigers.
That's a good point.
Clemson are Tigers.
The Detroit baseball team.
Tony is a Tiger,
He is.
but that's cereal, and we're talking sports and stuff.
But he's great.
So they won their exhibition game against Lynchburg, 110-55, and that's why you play exhibition games.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So their team is a little bit in a rebuilding mode.
Tennessee State's team.
Tennessee
All
State's
right.
team. And the Lady Vols, we don't know what to expect from them yet with the new coach.
Because we haven't seen a pattern yet. It's still
Not
too
yet.
early in the season.
Way
We'll
too
see.
early in the season.
Right.
But we will see soon. We'll
All
see.
right.
We'll see what
Well,
Kelly
good.
Harper can do.
Well, I know that Lady Vols fans are rabid. You think about,
Oh, yeah.
especially think about all that campaign to save the name for
Yes.
the Lady Vols. That worked.
And thank goodness it worked.
Oh, you're in favor of that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, well, then I got to introduce you to Dr. Sharon Lord. She started all that.
Well, I'm
And
glad
she's
she did.
Yeah, she's awesome. All right. Yep. That's when I went to a ladies' balls game. I got to go with her because
Yep.
she's like, I'm going to show you what I did.
Yes.
I'm like, yes, ma'am. We'll be there. Yep. All right. You're watching Morning in the Mountains on the Mountain Fun Life channel. He's Rich Haley on sports. I'm Frank Murphy. We'll be back with more of the show right after this.
Parrot Mountain. This attraction has it all, whether you're 2 years old or 90 years young, with hundreds of beautiful tropical birds and thousands of flowers, plants, and trees. Folks who visited our park have said, I've never seen this many birds in one place. This must be what the Garden of Eden was like, the most beautiful and peaceful place I have ever been. These gardens rival the best value in the Smokies. You'll want to visit Parrot Mountain and Gardens. Call or visit us online. We'll see you there.
Whether you've had an automobile accident or someone in your family has been affected by another person's negligence, your case deserves to be heard. Marcos Garza will fight for your rights. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Well, that wraps our Friday Eve show. That means it's Thursday. There's fun stuff to do in and around the Smoky Mountains today. We're counting down the minutes now until Garth Brooks takes over Neyland Stadium, which is Saturday. So that's a guaranteed win at Neyland Stadium. We all know this, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's been the joke for how long? How many weeks? Actually, things are getting better.
Things are getting better. And that's good.
All right. So it is a bye weekend. So is anybody getting married this weekend?
I think everybody.
Because usually that's how it works, right?
Yes.
I think.
Oh, yeah.
You schedule all the weddings on that weekend.
You do. You have to
All
check the
events.
schedule.
And 9 months after Bama weekend, it's a busy day at the...
After Bama weekend?
Yes. Busy day at the hospital.
I had a friend, my friends Sam and Jamie, got married on Bama weekend last year. And I think they did it on purpose because there was somebody who's a huge Bama fan. They knew he was unavailable to come to the wedding. That's my theory. There was someone who they didn't get along with who was a big Bama fan.
There you go.
So they scheduled the game the wedding on Bama weekend.
Well, if that person didn't know that then, he'll know it now.
Just a theory. Anyway, you're watching Morning in the Mountains. We are on weekdays at 9 o'clock on Facebook Live. Archived episodes on Roku, Frank. I watched you on Roku, Frank. How do I get the next show? I keep hitting the button. My mom knows how to work Roku. And on YouTube as well. For Brad Lovett, for Jim Johnson, for Rich Haley, who's filling in for Robert Ombie, I'm Frank Murphy. Do join us again tomorrow for the Friday show on Morning in the Mountains.